But this is all temporary, Bud. The public is smart enough to see through this idea of guilt by association. No, that is not the point. The point is, I had nothing to do with Sebastian's murdering my wife. No. No, I won't. I don't care about the rumors. I'm going to ride this through. All right. Goodbye. What? Well, tell him I don't want to see him. He does he? Wait a minute. On second thought, send him in. Right. All right, Redlin. One question.
I say that's fair enough. Are you going to yield to the pressures being put on you by the public and your party and resign from office?
Mrs. Lucas? Yes. No, Preston Carpenter isn't home right now. No, actually, I wouldn't. I don't have a pen or pencil with me, and... Look, whoever you are, you've caught me at a bad time, and frankly, I don't... Who? No, I'm afraid you're mistaken. Phyllis Carpenter is in the Rose Hill Sanitarium. Oh, no. Oh, wait a second. Here, I seem to have found a pencil. Yes, you're calling from Cambridge Manor Sanitarium. With a list of your rates. Very interesting, very interesting. Please, go ahead.
Courtney's marrying Vaughn as soon as possible.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Miriam says she's doing it just to break off our relationship, so I won't be a temptation to her. Since she couldn't have what she really wants, you see. She's burning up bridges, Mom. She's making sure that what she feels for me won't be an issue.
Well, that sounds to me like it's pretty foolish thinking, don't you think?
Oh, of course I think that.
Well, then maybe that should tell you something about the level of maturity in this relationship.
Oh, don't give me that. Nobody's mature when it comes to love.
You're sure that's what it is?
Yeah. But you know, the circumstances haven't given us a chance to do anything about it. That's what's driving us crazy. You know, I thought you, of all people, would understand this, considering what you and Dr. Phillips have been going through. It's kind of the same. Of course, your circumstances are working out a lot better than ours.
I think that far too many people have done a lot of assuming about Dave and me. But since you're so eager to draw a parallel, may I point out that it'd be a lot better if you would just take into account some judicious waiting.
Well, that's what I'm telling you. I don't have time to wait.
Look, maybe this isn't what you want it to be, but maybe this is what it's supposed to be.
God's will?
Yeah.
Where's the mysterious peace that I'm supposed to feel, huh? I wish just once we could have an uninterrupted conversation with you here.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, bad timing?
Not as far as I'm concerned. What's up?
Well, I was just going to John Brubaker's. He said he has a new lead on the Dar Salon Bible, and I thought you might like to come along.
You don't have to ask me twice. Take me away from all this.
What?
I'll explain later. Let me just get my coat. I'll be right with you.
Thank you. You have no idea how helpful you've been. Thank you very much. No idea at all.
Did I just hear the phone ring?
Well, now, if you heard it, why didn't you answer it?
Oh, I was in the pantry. I accidentally dropped a jar of...
Oh, well, I took care of it.
Well, who was it for?
It was for Preston, actually.
And the message?
Thank you, but I'll relay that personally.
But you might not be here when he comes in.
Well, then he'll get it when I get back.
Young man, I have certain responsibilities...
Perhaps you have too much responsibility, Mrs. Lucas. You seem to be wearing thin in certain areas. Consider this a favor, but please, let's not make a habit of it. And by the way, you're welcome.
Pressure? What pressure? I'm not feeling any pressure. In fact, I just talked with Bud Fletcher. He was very supportive.
Well, that's funny because I talked to Bud earlier, and if anything, he seemed to be concerned. He mentioned the image of the party, and he talked about the crucial election year and how harmful a scandal like this can be.
Oh, am I personally involved in any scandal?
Is that a serious question?
Very. I was a victim of Sebastian Knight just as Kate was.
Yes, and Kate was his victim because of your actions. He never would have felt it necessary to stop her from talking if you hadn't given a reason to destroy your candidacy.
That is the most convoluted piece of logic I've heard in this year.
Is it really? Well, the people of Kingsley don't think so. You know, the Chronicle did a little telephone survey, and it seems that 70% of the constituency think you ought to resign, Congressman.
Well, you know public opinion and how fickle it is. Won't you ask them tomorrow or maybe 2 weeks from now? This whole thing's going to be forgotten inside of 2 months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, we will keep asking them. And then inside of 2 months, it's going to be up to 100% because I intend to keep this story on the front page so they can't forget.
Is that supposed to be some kind of a threat?
Wow. You're a public figure, Congressman. I don't think I have to justify doing any kind of story about you. And every time I'm going to lead off with Lee Carruthers, Congressman to Kingsley's 16th District, whose wife was murdered by his campaign manager because he was trying to stop her from talking about an affair that the congressman had with a political aide.
For a newspaperman, that's a terrible lead line.
I'll clean it up in rewrites.
Look. I had no idea what Sebastian was up to. And I am not going to be made to look like I did.
Oh, now those words are real familiar. You know that? Didn't one of our presidents say something like that? The guy that was in office about 10 years ago. He said something like that when his subordinates broke into the offices of his opponents. And wasn't he eventually forced to admit to being responsible to the whole thing?
You have your statement. Now, please leave.
Funny how history repeats itself. Oh, by the way, are you going to stand by your statement of not being pressured to resign?
Yes.
It's just that it's going to look kind of silly beside the other information that I have. But no matter. Have a nice day, Congressman.
We got a strange phone call this morning from a forest ranger in this area over here. He picked up our message about the missing plane on his shortwave. Then he saw a plane fitting that description flying over him about 6 o'clock this morning. It disappeared over in this area.
But did it crash?
He doesn't think so. There's no indication that it did. There was no smoke, no fire.
Where would it land? This is all mountainous, isn't
Well,
it?
that's the big mystery.
Excuse me, Sergeant, but just what area is this?
Well, it's an enlargement of this part of the state. This area is about 2.5 hours north of here by car.
I thought so. I think I may just have an answer to your mystery.
Really?
Most of this area is wild, but some of it isn't really that mountainous. Small part of it was farmland as recently as maybe 20 years or so ago. That's when they made it into a state park. I grew up right around there.
Well, that's a long way of saying what?
That there may still be some open fields, and one may be large enough for a plane to land on. Well, now the forest ranger investigated this, didn't he? Did he say that there was some area that would be large enough for a plane to land?
Well, that's where the bad news comes in. You see, at the same time this was happening, a group of campers were reported missing on the other side of the state park. So the forest ranger and the state police were all dispatched to take care of that.
Well, isn't there anyone who can follow up on this?
Well, not until those campers are found, anyway.
I know this is not in your jurisdiction, John, but don't you have some people you can send up to look around?
I would like very much to do that, but our force is spread very thin right now due to this prison break.
What prison break?
Hugo Lancelot, the guy that kidnapped Miriam Mason, he slipped out of the penitentiary yesterday in the back of a delivery truck. So getting that character back behind bars is my top priority right now.
Until you do, our people, if they didn't crash, will be long gone.
I will send someone up there just as soon as there's someone free, and I'll go up and investigate it.
Yeah, well, thanks. Well, that's that, isn't it?
I don't think so. I think you and I should go up and look around there.
No. No, thank you. Bye-bye.
Well, you're back.
Yes, I think I am.
Any luck locating Courtney?
None, and feeling very uncomfortable, surrounded by tight blue jeans and fluorescent leg warmers, I decided to return.
What, feeling your age this morning, Preston?
Why should this morning be different from any other time?
Is this the candor of old age I've heard so much about?
Yes, it is. Youth is a wonderful thing. It's a shame they wasted it on the young. Mark Twain, I believe.
Have you ever heard of a place called Cambridge Manor?
I don't think so.
Well, they called here this morning. Funny you wouldn't recognize the name. They said they were returning your call.
Oh, yes, yes. New hotel in Chicago. I thought it might be nice if the shipping company held some of their seminars in one of their meeting rooms. I'll get back to them later.
Yes, you do that. Why, the rates they quoted me were incredible. Quite a switch from Rose Hill Sanitarium, though, wouldn't you say? Has Courtney any idea of your plans to dump your mother in that flop house on the south side? You see, I've made a few calls of my own.
Well, then you know no decision has been made as yet.
But I think you've deliberately kept me in the dark about this, Preston. My feelings are hurt.
I'm sorry. I'm surprised they're so near the surface.
Really? And I'm surprised that yours, those noble and celebrated feelings for Phyllis, have disappeared. Otherwise, there's no explanation for what you're planning to do. Except one. That Phyllis has deteriorated to the point where it really doesn't matter where she's kept. That's what's happened, hasn't it, Preston?
And if it has?
Well, now, there's where it gets interesting. You see, I've had to do a lot of long, hard thinking about this.
I hope it wasn't too much of a strain. Excuse me.
You're planning on breaking away from my family, aren't you, Preston? Now that Phyllis doesn't need the extravagant care she gets at Rose Hill, you don't need the Sumner family. And wonder of wonders, here's where it really gets interesting. Now that you no longer need the Sumners, Courtney no longer needs me. That's why you were so anxious to locate her, wasn't it? To inform her that it's no longer necessary to marry me. A bold move on your part, Preston. I'm actually impressed. I only wish you would show such prowess with your business dealings. But try it. You just try it. And anyone you've ever worked with, anyone who's ever respected you, is going to realize that you're just willing to sacrifice your wife's well-being so that it's financially easier on you.
But it makes perfect sense. I know this area as well as I know Kingsley. What could happen?
You could find them and put yourself in danger. Did you forget about the airport yesterday?
Look, they could be in trouble themselves. If that plane crashed, they may need help. And Dave's a doctor, I'm a nurse.
They're
We could
criminals. They've got guns.
We're not going to do anything foolish.
All right. We don't even know if it's the same plane. This whole thing could just be a wild goose chase.
Well, in that case, then it will just have been a pleasant experience. We will have a nice drive out in the country. Well, what do you think, Dave?
I think this is all crazy.
Oh.
No, look, this is twice we thought the Dar es Salaam Bible was gone for good. And twice we've been told where to find it. Now, you even made a comment about it the first time. Remember, John?
No.
Oh, come on. When Russ came into Harold's office and told us that the people we were looking for, he saw at the hotel. I mean, you made it... Well, that gave us our first clue to go to the airport to look for them. You made some comment that you thought someone is watching over us.
Yeah, but that's just an expression.
Well, maybe just an expression, but this time I think it's true.
Well, if God or fate or whoever it is that's arranging the circumstances is doing what they're supposed to do, then why are the campers missing? Why are the people who are qualified to deal with that situation not free to do it?
Now, don't go crazy on me, John.
Me?
All I'm saying is that Terry and I are in a position to investigate, and I think we should.
Okay, I repeat my original advice. I think that you're putting yourself in danger the same way you did yesterday at the airport, and you're setting yourself up for target practice today.
Oh, you've been watching too many police shows, John. We'll be fine.
Yeah? Well, don't say I didn't warn you.
I don't know, Dave. Maybe he's right.
Oh, now don't listen to him. He's just upset that he miscalculated about yesterday. And now he's sorry that he can't go with us today. Do you really think he'd let us go if there was any real danger?
I don't know. Would you?
Let's put it this way. Your chances of finding something are very slim, but if you do, I don't want any heroics.
Good. Oh, do I look like that kind of guy?
I never do.
Oh, thank you for coming. I'm so glad you're here. You're just what I needed this morning.
Well, I just thought I'd bring by a little reminder for you to enjoy and relax.
To relax. Yes, yes, I will try. Thank you for the plant. This is beautiful. I'll put it right here. Yes, ma'am. Have a seat. Yeah.
Oh, well, now, how's it going so far?
Well, let's see. Of all of the ton of phone calls I've had, there have only been 2 that I had a hard time with. And there were 4 clients that have come through the door, and just once did I have to refer to someone else for advice. The filing system, that seems to be a snap. So I would say, so far, so good.
Well, didn't I tell you everything would work out? Now, you know, maybe one day you'll smarten up and really start listening to me.
Yes, ma'am. I think you're right.
Even so, you've come a long way, and I'm awfully proud of you.
Oh, thank you, I am. Well, that's me.
Oh, well, now, I'll be running along. Now, will you be home for supper?
Yeah, as far as I know, I should be.
Okay, well, then I'll see you then.
Okay. Thanks, good. Okay. Hello, Mrs. Mason. Yes, yes. I was expecting your call. Now, I pulled a file earlier and looked through several models that I thought might be appropriate for your job. Okay, and what time this afternoon could you come by?
If you go public about Phyllis's condition, Courtney would never forgive you.
Me? Why, you're the one who's subjecting her mother to inhuman and abusive care.
No decision has been made.
Oh, yes, it has. By me. Phyllis will stay in Rose Hill Sanitarium, and our little system of checks and balances remains intact also. Phyllis can babble away in extravagance as long as she likes. And Courtney will marry me because of it.
You'd spend the rest of your life with a woman who despises you. Courtney's bound to know. I'll see that she's told.
You won't say anything, Preston, because we're going to forget about this whole situation. You'll forget you made the inquiries, and I'll forget that I found out about them. The whole thing is so sordid anyhow. I should think you wouldn't want your daughter to know about this momentary lapse in your self-respect. But you know, I was wrong about one thing. There really isn't any system of checks and balances in our relationship. I seem to call all the shots.
And if your daughter should come back,
No messages.
but it was so important for you to find her earlier.
Mrs. Lucas, I'm sorry. I do believe I said no messages.
Very well, sir. Oh, and tell Peter if I'm not home for dinner, he's to finish up that stew. No ordering pizza or going out for fast food.
Why not? That's what being on your own's all about.
Do I have to write that myself?
I'll write it, but I'm not signing it.
Don't worry, he won't blame you. He'll recognize my style.
Would you like to check my spelling?
I trust you. Oh, did you see where I put my gloves?
No, where?
That is a serious question. I don't know where I put them.
Oh, here they are.
Oh, good.
You ready?
Yeah. Let's go. Oh, do you think I should make a pot of coffee and then put it in a thermos to take with us?
No, just bring the thermos and we'll stop and get coffee someplace else.
Okay.
Oh.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Going tobogganing here?
It kind of looks like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
No, we think that we may have found where the Dar es Salaam Bible was taken.
We're going to run up to Grandma's old farm and take a look up there. So if you need anything,
Hold on. Grandma's. How'd this happen?
Well, the plane that got away in yesterday was seen going down in that area.
Oh, he crashed?
Well, your mother has this funny idea that they may have landed somewhere.
Hold on, I don't get it. The police are going to let you guys go up there?
This is pretty complicated, isn't it?
Among other things.
Yeah, well, listen, why don't you go out and start the car? I'll stay here and explain things to him, and I'll join you.
Okay, it's a lot saner than it sounds.
Well, it better be, Doctor.
Peter, the police, for various reasons, mainly because there's a very thin force on, can't go up there. And since I know that area so well, I thought Dave and I would just go up there and take a look around ourselves. Say, were you the last one to use this?
Yes,
or was
of
I?
course I do. You guys think you're Batman and Wonder Woman or something? What is this?
Good. You remembered to wash it out.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Mom.
Now look, Sergeant Brubaker knows what we're doing, and he approves. Sort of.
You're not being very convincing with me.
Here, this will explain it more.
Mom, will you stop a second?
Peter, have you ever known me to do something dangerous or irrational?
Yes.
Well, this isn't one of those times. Trust me.
Okay.
Listen, we're going to continue that conversation we had later, okay?
Later. Right. Okay.
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 Bye-bye.
Bye. Hey, be careful.
Always.
All right, have a pizza for dinner. Good. Thought she was going to have me have that stew.